One night I was walking through a dark alley. The fear that came over me was immense, and I didn't even know why I was that much afraid. This happened not only to me but also to my friend who was with me. We felt like we were being watched, but we couldn't find anyone. As soon as we got into the main street, where the lights were shining, the feeling vanished. It was like some creepy creature was about to haunt us in that darkness. I thought, if electricity didn't exist that night, what would have happened to us? Would the creature ultimately have shown up? I am not much fan of a Volker, but to be honest, how the hell is it possible that all countries, all cultures, from different colors and backgrounds, agreed on something like the dread of the night and darkness? It isn't just some tales that mothers from one country or one region tell their children. I believe it is something deeper. Imagine thousands of years ago, when humans hadn't even invented the most basic tools. How would they have survived during the night? Predators like tigers had their claws. Aggressive birds had their incredible vision. And even horses had their powerful senses. But humans, they didn't have any special abilities at all. Their vision at night was pretty much as bad as ours today. So when the sun went down back then, our ancestors stepped into an unknown realm. The sound of snakes rattling, owls hooting, and even the cracking of leaves frightened the hell out of them. Most nights they couldn't sleep at all, and even when they were awake, they couldn't do anything except fear. Fear of the eyes watching them. They were constantly on alert. You might say, well, they had caves, they had moonlight, they didn't even need much, but put yourself in their shoes. No walls that can actually protect you. No way to see what was 10 meters away. Enough to survive isn't the same as not afraid. Something magical happened to them. And when I say magical, I mean it. For them it was even more than magic. It was like creating their own sun. Mastery of fire was a discovery that seems simple into our eyes, but it was so important that it laid the first foundations of civilizations. Before that, we didn't even have access to warm food. But it wasn't only about food, you know? The most important thing was the protection and warmth that it provided. It didn't eliminate the terror of the night, but it pushed it back. Even then, darkness still surrounded them. They were only protected as far as the fire reached. Then they started improving this magic. They became more advanced and invented things like the torch. You again think it's something ordinary, something basic. But back then, when humans couldn't even properly communicate with each other, these small steps were like stepping on the moon, and the darkness became their field of discovery. Yet still, darkness was far more powerful. Even 1,000 years ago, people held this belief very strongly. You heard it correctly. It's not just random fact. It's a belief. They genuinely believed that the night had something in it. They created creatures out of it. Vampires, werewolves, and many others. They gave the night its own predators. People said the night held the souls of the dead captive with it. As I said, I'm not a fan of these things, but back then, These beliefs was so strong that even rulers had to take measures against the darkness. For example, in England, they imposed curfews to make people stay safely inside their houses after sunset. Even great empires and kingdoms hid themselves. They sealed their cities. The streets became empty, and it became even worse during the Black Death. Many historians noted that people claimed to hear creatures walking through the darkness. They'd called them the footsteps of death. The reason we sometimes wake up at 3 a.m. may also have roots in this fear of darkness. Back to the time that there was no fire, we had to wake up to make sure our surroundings were safe. This habit repeated so much that it became part of our DNA. But as I said, this fear wasn't just some psychological or genetic thing. We all heard the scary stories that our moms and grannies told us when we were children. Don't go to darkness, to avoid empty streets at night, and some things like this. It wasn't just about the people who could harm us in it. There was something in those stories that stayed with many of us, even into adulthood. Go back to that alley. If the lights had gone out that night, I don't think a creature would have shown up or would have captured us. But 2 million years of instinct and history would have been screaming as if one was already there. No matter how much I try to explain it with facts, a tiny part of it still cannot be explained. Maybe that's the whole point. Let me know your theory in the comments below.